Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a storytime video about the time I kind of flipped out on a teacher. So if you want to hear this story, then keep on watching. Alright, if you saw my prom storytime video, you would know that I hated high school, hated it. So that kind of will help explain story a little bit more, but there's also a backstory leading up to what actually happened. So I'll start with backstory. So it was 2 weeks before school started. We got a notice, I don't remember if it was an email or in the mail, saying that our schedules were up online and we can go check them. So I went on to the website and saw that my first period class was English, and it was with a teacher that I had my freshman year of high school, and I didn't like this teacher at all. And I was kind of just bummed out that I was having her again, but I was just like, you know what, I'll deal. So fast forward to the first day of school. Turns out this teacher must have, I guess, told the school last second or something that she was not coming back because she had a baby the previous year, and I guess just decided she didn't want to come back. Whatever. I think for the first couple days or so, we had a substitute, and they were, I guess, just trying to figure out what was going on. I don't even remember if we had an actual substitute on the first day. We may have just had a teacher that had their off period just to watch us. Eventually, we get our substitute. Now, our substitute was probably one of the worst teachers I have ever had in my whole, school career. She, first of all, was out all the time, so the substitute needed the substitute. She would never teach us. She would basically hand us the books to read, and then, the homework worksheets and whatever, and basically we'd be on our own. And, as a teacher, the books that we read were harder, obviously, because it was our senior year, so obviously, the level goes up. But she just didn't explain the books to us, and it was just harder to learn and stuff like that. In, the beginning of the year, she mostly focused on a lot of college essay writing. Now, if you have watched any of my videos ever, you would know I did not go to college. Me and this other kid who I was friends with my senior year, really, really good friends with, me and him both told our teacher, we went about it in a very nice way, I think. We just said to her, look, we're not going to college, we're not benefiting from this. We're sitting here wasting our time writing these essays that we're not even getting graded on or anything, because she thought we were sending them out to colleges, and we both said, we're not going to college. I was like, I'm going to cosmetology school, and he was like, I'm going in the Marines. So there was that. We would actually kind of argue with her, because in class when we were writing these essays, me and him would just dilly-dally and just not even care. So that was September to November-ish. Then midterms rolled around. I want to say midterms were after Christmas, so January. And basically everyone in the class failed the midterm. So the teacher was really mad. And we, basically all of us as a class were look, you haven't been here, ever, number one. Number two, she didn't teach anything or go over anything with us. Half the time, this is going to sound so horrible, but me and my friend Amanda, you guys have met her in a vlog. Me and her would sit together on the computer and Google answers to worksheets, because we would Google the worksheet, Google the questions, and then the whole entire worksheet in a PDF file would come up, and we'd get all the answers right away, and we wouldn't even have to read the book, because we never really got tested. So it was really, it was kind of hard to learn, and the midterm wasn't anything from the books. It was just So annoying. So pretty much everyone had failed the midterm. I think only like 1 or 2 people actually passed. So my teacher, had gotten the head of the like English department to come into my class to talk about why passing English was important. Well, I mean, obviously passing was important because you needed to pass English in order to graduate. And she basically was like, I think she was kind of making it like why you need to go to college and blah, blah, blah. So then again, me and this kid were kind of frustrated because they're putting like this whole like college thing on us and whatever. And we were just like, okay, we're not going to college. All that stuff. So she comes up with this, the head of the English department comes up with this great project for my class to do. My class, out of all of the English classes of my senior class, got to do this one project on what you were doing after high school. And basically, we had to either make like a poster board or a PowerPoint presentation on where we were going or what we were doing after high school and present it to the class. And I was so angry with doing this because, first of all, I hate presenting things to classes. I get so nervous to the point where like I'm sweating and I get like almost like lightheaded and I just feel like I'm gonna pass out, and I like work myself up, and it's like so stupid because I've known like all the people in my class ever since like kindergarten, some of the people. So it's just like no one was a stranger, you know? So that was that. And I don't know, just the whole project kind of made me annoyed because the teacher, I feel like, kind of just put me down because I was the only person like not genuinely like going to college and all that stuff. I mean, the kid that was going into the Marines wasn't either, but he was going into the Marines, and I feel like that's different than going to cosmetology school, if that makes sense. That was that. And then I feel like almost a month later, we were reading this book. You guys might have heard of it. It's called Blindness. It's really, really weird. People get like this eye disease and all this stuff, and like everyone goes blind and they're like quarantined in like this, I think it was like an army base or something. And I don't know. Basically, the end of the book, everyone regains their sight. Like, it was so stupid. But she wanted us to write an essay about what it was like to be blind and stuff like that. And she wanted people to put like blindfolds on to walk around the classroom. And I said, me and this teacher just did not get along. We just butt heads all the time. But I just said to her nicely one day, when we were doing this, I was like, I can't do it. That one day, my contact, and this might sound like a really bad excuse, but this was the truth. My contact was like messed up in my eye, and I didn't want to shut my eye and like have a blindfold on it to just like mess with it even more. And I told her that like nicely. And she was like, well, you're going to fail this essay then. And I was like, okay. Like, what else did she want me to do? So my friend Amanda didn't do it either, and I think we both did pretty good on the essay anyway. The essay was just like what we thought life would be like if we were blind. Like, that's all. A month or so later, like I want to say like March, April-ish, we started reading Shakespeare. I don't remember what Shakespeare book we were reading, but I remember having a really hard time understanding it. I had to go to Barnes & Noble and buy like the Shakespeare for Dummy book. And I remember the guy, when I was checking out, being like, you shouldn't need this. And I was like, you should see my English teacher and my English grades. Like, I need all the help I can get. Basically, at the end of the book, we had to write an essay. I don't remember what the essay was on because I don't remember the book, but whatever. So I remember we started the essay in class. And when we would write essays for English, everyone would either like sit there with their iPod or like put their headphones into the computer and like listen to Pandora or whatever. And I would do the same thing, talk to Amanda, because me and her were little like chatty Cathys. And I remember that, and we were like genuinely working on I was genuinely working on the essay, but I remember the teacher coming over to me and literally saying, do you have ADD or ADHD? And I was like, I just remember looking at her and like, what? Like, as a teacher, you cannot ask someone if they have a learning disability because it's rude and it's none of her business. And even if I did, she would have known, because teachers get a list of kids that have allergies or like kids who have like just a learning disability thing. Like, she would have known that I had something. I just have a hard time concentrating. So whatever, I'm doing this. Then I stopped doing the essay because she just annoyed me with that "do you have ADD or ADHD" comment. So I stopped doing the essay because I was just over it. I was over her comment and I was just like ready to leave. So I remember I emailed the essay to myself and I was like, okay, I'll do it when I get home later. So I come home after school and I get to work on this essay because English was my only real class during my senior year. I didn't really get any other homework in any of my other classes. I'm doing the essay and I was on our desktop. And it must have been like dinner time or something. So I stopped doing the essay, saved it, and I was like, okay, I'll email it to myself, and then after I shower and do all that stuff, I'll finish it on the laptop until I'm done. So I come back up, get the laptop, and I start, and whatever, and I go to start it, and the whole entire thing was gone. Just like gone. And I had to restart the whole entire essay. And I was so upset and so mad. And I remember I stayed up until 3 or 4 in the morning. And I just remember like I had like 2 like breakdowns, like crying and like just stressing out. And I remember like 1 a.m. and like my cousin was trying to help me. And like a friend was trying to help me who wasn't even in high school. He's trying to help me. And just, I kept like breaking down and I was just like, I can't do this. And so I finally went to sleep at like 4 a.m. because that's when I finished this essay. And I was basically like, as I was doing this essay, I was like, I don't care how good I do on this at this point. Like, I'm doing it, I'm trying, that's it. And I remember I had to find like a bunch of quotes for this and just like all this stuff. So I wake up the next morning after like 2 hours of sleep and my mom's like, just stay home. Like, if you are stressing about this essay still, like, stay home, work on it a little bit more, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I can't stay home. I have to go to school because I was in another class called Child Lab, and that was where, like, 4-year-olds would come in and we would teach them. It was like preschool, basically. And we would teach them, but if we were out, the teacher would, like, flip out, and you would have to miss, like, your other classes just to make up her class. Like, I just didn't feel like dealing with that. So I went to school the next day, handed in the essay, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward like a month. I don't know why it took this lady so hard to grade all these essays because no one in the class had handed them in. Only like 5 of us did. So fast forward like a month. We got to school one day and a squirrel ate the power line and the power was out in the whole entire school. This happened a lot in my town also. I don't really know why. Squirrels just like to eat the power lines. Comment below if that ever happened to you when you were in school. Squirrels eating the power lines. So when that happened, they would try to keep you in your first period class as long as they can to like figure out like how they can like kind of light the school a little bit more. But I mean, they had like the emergency lights, but they didn't really do much, obviously. Or until the power would come back on is when they would let you go. Or sometimes they would just do like, I don't know, they would figure it out. So get to school, whatever, and we were in first period longer than we were supposed to be. So say it ended at like 8:30, so it was like almost 9 o'clock, and the teacher calls me over and she calls me up to her desk, and I go over, and I'm thinking she caught on to the fact that I was Googling the answers for the homework because I'm lazy and didn't want to read the books. But no, she holds up my essay like this and goes, you could have gotten a 0 on this essay. I could have gone down to the principal to tell him, and what's even better is she was saying this so everyone in the class could hear. It wasn't like she was whispering. It wasn't like she took me out into the hallway. She was saying it so everyone could hear. She was like, I could have taken this down to the principal, told him to not let you walk in graduation because you plagiarized. You're lucky you got a 35. And I just stood there like that, like a deer caught in headlights, like trying to hold back like every like itty bitty ounce of anger. I was like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? I plagiarized. Like, what? And she goes, yeah, you didn't put a quotation mark here. And I was like, are you kidding? I literally said to her, I was like, how is that plagiarizing? Like, I forgot a quotation mark. I was like, I stayed up until 4 a.m. writing this essay because I told her, I was like, I didn't understand the book. And I had no idea what I was writing. So there. Like, I got so angry. So I took I don't even think I told the teacher where I was going, but once she was done talking to me, and once I was like, I was just so ready to just like punch a wall. And Amanda even saw my face. Like, Amanda knows me so well, just to get that out there. She saw my face. She saw me grab my stuff, my books, my bag, whatever. And I left. I just left. I left the classroom and I walked to another teacher. So I go into that classroom and the teacher's like, why are you here? Because whenever I would be in her classroom, it was most likely because I didn't want to be in the class I was in, or it was because I didn't want to be in the class I was in, basically. She just goes, why are you here? And this teacher knew about the struggle with the essay. She knew about the struggle with the teacher. So I told her everything that happened. She was like, just stay here. Because she knew I was about to, like, go off any second. So, Amanda's texting me. She's like, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? So I tell her where I am. And, like, I'm like, come to her classroom, blah, 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 blah. And we're, like, talking about this paper. And the teacher was like, look, like, you tried. But she was like, I don't think she should have, like, done, like, what she did. I just didn't want to talk about it. So I remember going home later that day. And I was just so angry. My mom was like, oh, God, like, what? But I told her, I was like, that paper I stayed until 4 o'clock on, I got 35, all because of one quotation mark she almost took down to the principal, and I almost got, like, in trouble for plagiarizing, blah, 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 blah. And I just feel like if she did take it down to the principal, he wouldn't have done a single thing because, first of all, he knew I was a good kid. He knew I never did anything bad. I was always in school. I always was on time, like, all that stuff. I never got into any trouble. No teachers had a problem with me, except this one. And I don't think he just wouldn't have done a single thing. Like, what was she gonna do? Like, sit there and convince him, like, oh, she's a horrible human being. She has ADD. Like, there's kids doing worse in the school. Like, ADD's nothing. Like, but okay. But I was just so mad. And my mom was kind of just like, look, you tried. And you didn't. My mom was basically just like, just be thankful you didn't actually get in trouble. And that you tried. And that you're not getting a 0. But I was like, I would have rather taken that 0 at this point. Because I was just so fed up with this teacher. So that after that day, I didn't care about any of the work she gave. I did not care. I wouldn't, like, talk to her. I wouldn't look her in the eye. Nothing. She was just so rude and so, ugh. I had never flipped out or gotten angry like that on someone, like a teacher, before. And, like, I've always, like, respected teachers and all that stuff, but this lady, it's just, like, it was, like, one thing after another with her for that whole entire year. And I was just to the point where I was ready to just go. Because, I don't know, the ADD thing, just, to this day, this was 4 years ago, and it still makes me angry to this day. Like, who says that to a kid? I don't know, but this teacher, I hope she's not teaching still, but I'm pretty sure she is, because some people I'm friends with on Facebook that were in that class are friends with her on Facebook. Don't really know why. She's the last person I'd be friends with on Facebook, but oh my god, just horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. I hope she sees this. Hi, if you see this, you remember me? And that is my story about the time I kind of flipped out on a teacher. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you have not already, please subscribe to my channel. If you have any video suggestions, leave those in the comments below. Or if you just want to leave a comment and say, hey, I would love that too. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!